What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It's I, James. RedemptionAgency.com, urban-picker.com. 24 years selling full-time on eBay. And it is Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday the 17th. And I'm here to bring you yesterday's numbers. And what else? I don't know. I'm just winging it right now. I'm guessing like the automatic feedback. I've got about, just on the media store alone, I've got 300 and almost 400, I think, automatic feedbacks left. So I'm guessing it's going to update the numbers on the 20th, being that's when it usually updates all the other numbers for top rated seller and all that stuff. They usually, I think they do it from the 20th through from the 20th to the 20th. So I'm guessing that's when the feedback numbers will change also, because when I put up over the question mark, it's still reading the same numbers that it's doing the math with. So those numbers should start changing soon. So from like your percentage, that is. So not that feedback really matters anymore, but hey, at least, take the positives where you can with eBay, especially with all the negative website stuff that's been going on lately. We're at 11 a.m. right now. I think I'm just now at $200, but at 8 a.m. I had zero. So the first 6 hours of the day, I was just blanked on. So curious to see how the day is going to wind up compared to the past 4 days have been pretty good. So how will the day end up? I don't know. But hopefully we still keep going, even with, it almost feels like it's like they shifted the major updates from, instead of like Sunday night into Monday, from like a, Tuesday night into Wednesday. I don't know. I did notice something different yesterday on the offers. So again, with the fact that the offers are messed up, I think I got 2 offers in 15 hours or something like that. So the offers are still not working properly. I noticed another change when you go to counter it. It shows you what you have it listed for and the offer, like right next to each other, right on top of each other, where that wasn't there before. So that's a new layout of some sort. So they're still tweaking that offer system, and it's still not working 100% properly. So, hopefully they'll get that fixed soon. But that's been going on for many months. Many months. All right. So again, I'll hold this up so you can look at it later if you want to pause the camera or whatever. I'll give you belly rubs in a minute, girl. So Tuesday, September 16th. Listed 391 items yesterday, with our running total for the week so far 1,398 items listed. Sold 76 items yesterday, with a run total of the week 273 items sold. Money we made yesterday $1,034, so hit that $1,000 mark at least, so that's good, with a run total of $3,660. So as you know, normally after you have a big day, you have a big downward spiral. So since $1,000 day is unfortunately my big days nowadays, instead of 1,200 or whatever, I'm not surprised that I went the first 6 days without any sales. So 1,398 listed. My goal is the 3,000, so I'm not quite halfway there yet, with only 3 days left. But I think my goal, my goal is 6,000 per month. And next week I'll be doing the organization and then ending and relisting stuff that's already in my store through List Easier. I think even if I get say 2,500 done this week, I should have no problem getting that 500 extra next week, even with the organization project. Because that'd be less than 100 items a day, and I could grab a box of cassettes every day just to hit that number if I had to, or a box of CDs or whatever. So even if I, 500 has to carry over to that organizing week, I don't think I'm going to cause any problems. I still should hit my goal with the number of items listed for the week or for the month. So, of course, the number is going to be off. Of course, we're not quite at 4,000. We've got 3 days left, so I know we're not going to hit that. But we haven't hit that in a long time anyway. $7,000 in a week. So hopefully eBay will give us a break this fourth quarter with updating the website and let us earn some money for the fourth quarter. That would be a nice Christmas gift, eBay. Let us earn money. Stop updating the site and ruining the site, and get your offers fixed and checkout and all that other stuff that's broken. Fix the stuff that's broken instead of keep breaking things. So today, what am I doing? Mostly everything I have pictures for already has been listed. I think I got a few sweaters and a few sweatshirts, a couple of purses, and maybe a couple of jackets. So everything else has been listed that I have pictures of. So today I'll be just introducing more stuff from storage, taking pictures, getting that stuff listed. See how many I can hit today, doing the whole process, pictures and list. I am here by myself today with just the puppies, so hopefully I can get a good flow going, get some work going. Still too warm to open up my windows and enjoy any fall air. Autumn, if you would. But, I don't know. Anything else? I don't know, man. I'm just enjoying the peace. Enjoying the peace. Well, I guess I got another failed thing I've tried. I always try different things and fail at them. And my coaster thing, nobody's even tried to buy any of my coasters yet. So, I took CDs and made them into coasters. I've been using this one for a couple months now, and as you can see, it's still going good. King of the Hill, local St. Louis band. Maybe I need to lower the prices a little bit more and try another strategy. Got the stickers made up to throw on. What I'm doing is putting they're four random depending on the category, and I'm putting them inside of a jewel case. This is a double, so not this one, but a jewel case without a tray in it, and then I'll put a sticker on the front of the case, and that's how they're going to be packaged. But I gotta sell some first, so another flop. But hey, at least I'm trying something, and I'm not just throwing out CDs, trying to do something with them. So I guess I'm gonna have to lower the price on those. I already lowered them once and still nothing going on with them. So I'll try lowering them again and see if we can get anything rolling. Maybe people don't like the fact of the random categories. I don't know, but not sure. I wonder if I'm promoting it, because I think I made a separate category. I don't know if I put that category into promoted. That may be an issue too. Maybe I'll check that today. Make sure it's being promoted so it ain't suppressed by eBay. But yeah. Another quick way to get my numbers too is adding to quantity. So if I'm running behind, I can always grab a box of items that I know I have listed and add to quantity. So that's a thing also. But yeah, other than that, not much going on, of course. So I just enjoying the peace, and trying to get my numbers up, to get the money up. Jan started. She's 5 years away from actual retirement. So she's done the calculation, like, oh, it's only 1,000 so days. Got to start counting down. So, but my goal is to try to get if I can get the business numbers doubled or close to it or whatever, to maybe she can start slowing down, before the 5-year mark. But all I can do is keep forging ahead and trying. I'm trying to look at things a little bit differently. Like, for the longest time, I've been like looking at my previous self and my selfishness as a negative thing, just because of the way I treated some people. I made it all about me and what my goal was, and nothing was going to stand in my way, not even people, type of thing. And just not being mean, but just being mean. Not taking other people's feelings or thoughts or whatever into consideration, and only caring about myself, right? And then for the longest time, I've been trying to just push that away and try not to be that person. I've been trying to push out the whole selfish thing as a whole. And this past week, I've just been running all that through my head, going, that's not necessarily a bad trait to have, depending on how you use it. So why don't you just change how you use being selfish? Because I used selfishness with confidence and meshed them together. That's why some people in the past used to say I'd have an ego in something, just because I was confident, driven, and I didn't care. And the people who probably called me and said I had an ego is probably people I walked over, or just left behind, or whatever the case may be. Didn't matter, didn't register with me, whatever, haters, trolls back in, before internet, just people you pay no attention to, so they automatically hate you, type of thing. So I'm like, what if I just redirect? I just take that selfishness and that drive, but just be more responsible with it. Just understand. I was always had a conscience, and if you were in my bubble, it was a different thing. People outside the bubble are the ones I didn't care about. Even some that I brought into the bubble, even if I didn't necessarily look at different perspectives on things. It was my way or no way type of thing, right? So maybe I just, don't bring that part into it, but just take that selfishness, that drive, and just let's see where it can go today with today's tools. I mean, if I did what I did in life without, the tools that are available today to me, meaning money, making some money, YouTube, social media. What can I do now if I took that James and placed him here in the now, and was just, more considerate to other people's feelings? And so I've been running that through my head, and I like the thought process. Like, I feel like things are regenerating. Like, that hunger is regenerating. That drive is like, the car's starting up right now. I have a lot of dust coming out of the rear end, tailpipe, but get that thing rolling again. But just be more, empathetic, I guess, to people's feelings, and not be so dead set on my way is the only way type of thing. And I realized too, with the way I used to think, like what motivated me was to, get out of where I was, but I also used material items to kind of, I guess, mentally motivate me. Like, oh, I want a house. I want a place where I can sleep well. I would like to have a nice car. So for the last little bit, when I've been trying to push that selfish stuff aside, I almost was convincing myself that, material things are bad, right? But you know what? It's not bad. It's not bad if you use them in a positive way. So I just started reintroducing myself to wanting things. Not that I would go get them, but just using them as motivation. Like, I've always talked about a cabin in the Smoky Mountains or whatever. And now that's a big one. So I'm like, let's shrink that down. What's my car? I've wanted the longest in life was a 1980s Trans Am from Smokey and the Bandit Part 2. I had toy cars of that when I was a kid from the movie, and I just loved that car. Let's put that as a frontline goal. 25, 30,000 is what they cost right now in great condition. Let's put that as a goal. Not that I would buy it or have to buy it or would be disappointed if I didn't buy it, but use it as motivation. Use that material item to motivate me, because when I'm motivated and when I do better, then I can help more people and I can do more things, and I can, I probably haven't donated to a dog shelter this year just because all the numbers have been so kind of just, I don't know, not great with the eBay and stuff. So I'm concentrating more on self-preservation. Somebody commented on my YouTube today, self-preservation this year, as opposed to helping out monetarily anything else. And I'm like, well, when I think selfishly and I'm doing things selfishly and I'm doing them and I'm when I rise, I'm able to help other things and people out also. So it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just, using the tools you have and what works with your mindset, because we all think differently. We all come from different backgrounds. We've all had different experiences. Excuse me. So we all have to, we all think differently. We all use different methods of inspiration and motivation, and just to, there really ain't no more to that. Just that is what it is. So finding out and figuring out and even going back to what worked for you in the past and just doing it better. That's where I'm at. That's my goal. So, I am letting myself think selfishly again, instead of putting myself down for thinking that way. Not putting myself down for thinking materialistic way anymore, because when I was striving for that nice car and I had that nice car, I was able to help more people out because I had a little bit more, because I was succeeding a little bit better. So why not do that again? And just be better at it. That's what I'm doing. But I am enjoying the peace. And I think that's the big difference between the now and the then, is the peace that comes along with the now being, I have a foundation where before I had nothing. So having that foundation is peaceful. So let's use that to my advantage, and just, you got to do something. You got to do something different. You've got to find that next level. And that's what I'm telling myself. I've got to find that next level. And I know the only one that can take me there is James of 1993. James of, when James started fighting to build the business. That whole, just those mindsets, take them from the 20s, take them from the 30s, add them to the 50s, and the experience that come along with it. And there's got to be something in me. There's got to be something in me that's going to be able to go from here to here. I don't know exactly what that is yet. But the fun part is the journey and the figuring it out and coming up with and trying new things and doing things different and just selfishly loving every second of it. And it almost sounds kind of cheesy for saying all this stuff and that, but whether this is a midlife crisis scenario going on in the head, whether it's more of a spiritual journey within oneself, whatever the case may be, you always hear in the past, like you always hear people who have things figured out die at an early age, right? People who just seem like they got it going on, they know where they're going, they're at peace with who they are, always seem to die early. Why is that? Why does chaos last longer than peace? Or at least appear to? There's got to be something to that, don't you think? I'm not religious or anything like that. I wonder if there's probably something within the religious realm that can be pulled out of the book to fill in that little blank, but I don't know what that is because I'm not religious or anything. But and I don't really watch a lot of spiritual things and motivational things and things like that because I like coming up with the stuff myself. I probably should get my head more into that kind of stuff to be influenced a little bit faster, maybe. I always feel like I'm a day behind, more like years behind, but I'm probably going to be the person who goes viral on YouTube after I'm dead. Because I'm always behind. I'm always behind. All right, I gotta get to work. Get things listed. So, all right, enough of me yapping. I'm gonna turn the music up. Turn the work up, and let's go. I gotta give her itch medicine. She's scratchy. All right, thanks everybody. I will see you all in the next video. Later.